Yo, so I have played Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm around level 50 and I beat it like 13 gyms or like not gyms but challenges. So I haven't beaten the whole game yet. So I do want to talk about the game and what I think so far. I will not be getting into any kind of stories or that kind of stuff because I don't know the full game yet because I haven't finished it yet. However, I do want to just get into it. I have noticed, like a lot of people notice this, that I'm going to be honest, a lot of the game is very much not finished yet. It's very laggy. The NPCs will just walk like this, and which is very just not smooth. They're very laggy. They're like this. Very funny, right? And that's like throughout the whole game, people do that. It's not just one area or like the very start of the game. It's everywhere. It's everywhere in the game. As well as just the game doesn't really load up fully. None, none of the game is ever finished. The Pokemon will pop out of the grass, or and the grass won't even load until you are very close to it, which is becomes really annoying when you're riding. When I start to ride on Crydon, I have Pokemon Scarlet, by the way, just in case you don't know. But as well as this, it forces you into a battle while you're on Crydon, or if you want to like jump, and if you're on the or if you're trying to jump and glide or whatever, it will knock you down. It will be very annoying after a little while. And even if you do get forced into a battle by the Pokemon that just popping out, if you decide to battle it, or if you try to run away, a Pokemon can very much so just spawn right in front of you and force you into another battle. That happened to me many times while playing the game. I get there was a time where I got knocked into the same Pokemon to battle for like 3, 4 different times, like not the same one, but different Pokemon while playing the game. It's crazy. I don't like that aspect of the game. It ruins a part of the fun because I try to go around and just move and have fun, right? But I can't because Pokemon just pop out of the ground and just ruin it for me. And I don't want to play a game like that, you know? Now there's also a lot of glitches and like you can easily get stuck in the game. For example, you can get if you jump and you land into a rock, it will like shake the game and you can't move and it will just make you stop playing the game and then eventually it will let you go out but it'll force you to go into black screen and it will put you back wherever you were. But it is really annoying if you just wanted to play the game. Now, I do want to get into the map itself. Now, I will start by saying the map in this game is huge. It's really big. It's probably the biggest region there is. However, it's not too fun to begin with because it just feels very empty for the most part. Like, out in the wild, there's pretty much nothing there, and it feels very dead. There are items every corner, but what's the point of it if there's nothing to do? I mean, there are Pokemon you can catch, but the Pokemon there aren't really there. Like, let's say in Legend Arceus, they did this thing. Oh shoot! I killed my guy. Oh well. They did this thing where they had all the Pokemon and they were everywhere, right? However, with Arceus, it was better because they had all the Pokemon had a set location. There weren't. It was a smaller map, so like they could put more landmarks and everything in there and have it feel more lively. Because not only did the Pokemon just fit better with the game, but they just felt more real because were doing things like let's say Magikarp. Magikarp would swim up with you. It would just chill with you, and it gave Pokemon a lot more personality. And I love Magikarp much more just for that little aspect alone. However, with this game, they just kind of stand there without you doing anything. They just chill there, and it's not really cool looking, if I'm being honest. I just think it would be much better. I mean, they do sleep and sometimes attack you, but Legend Arceus just made it feel much more real of a game. On the other side, I do think some of the places in the game are absolutely beautiful. The first city in with the school in the game and the first routes look absolutely amazing and very lively. And I think that's because it's in a much more closed off space with with all of the Route 1 Pokemon just running around everywhere and you can see it. And I think that really helps the game in general. Because I like a game where it's more lively and the Pokemon look like they're actually doing something. Like let's say Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. They had enemies always doing something even if you aren't doing anything or fighting them, which was a really good touch. And I like in the games where there's so much more businesses and little food stands where you can order like let's say ice cream or some kind of food at all. I think that's a really good aspect of the game and it feels makes the cities feel more lively and more real of the game. Even though I do think that it's kind of stupid that you can't walk into anyone's house. That's one of the things I don't like about the game. I wish that they let us walk into houses because that's just a good one. Next, I would like to talk about both the character designs and the Pokemon designs. First off, I want to talk about the characters, right? Pokemon always have good character designs for the main characters. I don't think anyone can disagree with that. They always look nice and very solid, whether it be gym leaders, rivals, etc., etc. They all look really good. However, I do think some of the NPCs in the game, especially the characters with, let's say, students NPCs, they look very boring. They don't really express any emotion really. They just stand there for their Pokeball. In the past games, they would do something at the very least, like whether it be like smiling or whatever. And that's something I do think is a miss in the game. However, I do think that the models still look good though. Next, I want to go into Pokemon designs. I think they made the Pokemon look really, really nice in this game, especially Pokemon like let's say Scizor. Scizor's my favorite Pokemon, and I think it looks really good because there's a nice shine to it and everything. As well as I just think the new Pokemon, they look really cool actually. Like, let me show you the new Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. They look really good, and I like the new forms, like the Paradox forms, and just different forms like the Dolphin Pokemon. Because the Dolphin had this one cool form where they should just when you switch out, it would transform into the different form, into a stronger form, and I think that was really cool of how they did that. I do want to say this is my favorite Pokemon game, the Grasshopper. So cool. The shine looks awesome. Same with the regular colorations. It just looks cool. Yo, Scizor. No, but yeah, don't think Game Freak is really bad with designs, and I do like that they're trying to add much more unique designs in Pokemon. Like let's say normal poison, dark bug, fire grass. Even though we should have had those early on. Nice, he's dead. But yeah, going through the gyms and other challenges were fun. I mean, it's Pokemon. You can't really go wrong with Pokemon. Everyone likes Pokemon. The just the gameplay wise, I think that's just a good thing. I think the gyms are just normal. You battle against their teams, right? And it's just normal Pokemon, right? But I like something I do like is the Team Star raid battles. They're really cool because you use the first free Pokemon on your team and you just go and challenge an auto battle like what it was like 30 Pokemon at like not at once, but you have to beat 30 Pokemon, and it was really cool. I like that aspect of it. However, I do want to say that the gyms have a really good way of. Sorry if I'm going out of order. I don't. I just want to talk about it, but the gyms are really nicely done with them using different ways to battle and just better better use of the new mechanic because they didn't really use megas. They There wasn't really any Z moves used, so I like this aspect of it, which brings me to the next point. I think terror typing is a really cool feature in the game. I think it was done well. I think it's a good addition to the game, as well as I just think it's a much more fun and creative way to battle now. Lastly, I just want lastly, I just want to say I want to bring out little details that I did really like in the game. So let's say so first I want to say that Game Freak is really good at adding little small details to their game, right? It's such a good little things that make you happy and give you a little smile. Like let's say so some things I want to say is like when once you get the starter Pokemon on the first at the first or at the third stage, you start calling them your old reliable starter, right? Or your your reliable partner. I think that's a nice touch, and I think more Pokemon games should do that because why wouldn't you? It's so nice looking at it, and then as well as I like the very cool uh Psychic City Gym where the field where you battle on they have this really nice uh red and blue sprites all over the building, and it's such a cool thing because you get to see the old sprites just all over the place. I like that aspect. It looks cool, and why wouldn't you like it? And then I do want to say that I really like how the plays just like it's Pokemon. You can do whatever you want. You don't really you aren't have this one set goal. You can do any team you want. You can play it in any way you want, and it was one of the most simple game. We'll also have one of the most mechanical, hardest like games you can even play. Like competitive Pokemon is really hard to like play and just like it's there's so much things you can do in the game, which I like about the Pokemon games. I think that's a nice touch. And yeah, I do also like how easy it is to get items and TMs in this game. And I just think overall, I would rate this game a 7 or a 7.5, maybe even 8 out of 10. And I just think this is a decent game. I don't think it's the best game out there or it's horrible. I think it's very enjoyable because it's Pokemon. You can't really go wrong with Pokemon. I think it's just a fun, decent game that you can just enjoy every now and then. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's worse. It's just in the middle of the road. So, thank you for watching, and if you like this video, like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.